And we, no, we are live. We are live. I'm told we are live, so it is starting. Ah, but is it going on with the delay? It's bizarre. Okay, okay, so because I've got like many monitoring screens, so I'm just getting myself a bit confused. But I will hopefully be able to see the live chat if anyone is keen on live chatting, because this one is a good one. I want to make a tutorial. I want to live code and make a tutorial explaining what I do. A clicker game, except that I've looked into making a clicker game with kind of fancy graphics and so on, and realized that I could kind of get it done like at my school, but it's not accessible. So I wanted something that could be done in the browser without having to install anything. So we are going to make a text-based clicker game, which is going to be more a tapper. We're going to do tap return, and we're going to call it return tapper. So cookie clicker. Oh my god, cookie clicker. Hold on, let me just switch the. I'm just not very good at this, am I? Cut to code. Boom. Okay. Cookie clicker. Do you? Oh, done a thing. No, we're good. The original cookie clicker. Oh, golden cookie. Cookie clicker is a game by a French. See how addictive it is. Grandma. So what do they generate? Okay. I wish. 7 cookie per second. That's good. If we could do that. So we've got like I'm trying to. Okay. What I love about Cookie Clicker is I discovered this short after it came out, which is like more than 10 years ago in 2013. And by the way, it is by Orteil, which is French for toe, who's a French designer, developer. You can see old school. I'm going to need to check out his other stuff. Turtle Toy. Oh gosh. Fractal turtles. Oh my god, the life. Okay. Yeah, getting distracted. Cool. So, without further ado, code editor, you simply look and Google for Raspberry code editor, Raspberry Pi. Well, you get it, but like this is how you get to it. Raspberry Pi code editor, the code editor of Raspberry Pi. If you have an account, you want to sign in so you can save your stuff. If you don't have an account, well, you may want to create one, which you can do. You can do it like at the end before saving the thing. Look at that, I've got return tapper already, so I'm going to delete that and do it like completely from scratch. Okay, return tapper in Python. And here we go. So we're going to have a main gain loop. All like games don't need software, but games in particular have a loop. They kind of like, are there going to be an input? What do we need to make some decision? We update the state of the game. We display the updated state of the game. But in game design, we also talk of a game loop in that you go and do something and you get a reward for it that makes you better at doing the next thing, etc. Let me zoom considerably because I realize that it's not super visible on the video. Well, yeah, not too much. It's not, mind you, I'm not gonna. Let's talk about that. Okay. And what I absolutely adore about Cookie Clicker is that it's really distilled a lot of particularly what makes gaming can be addictive, game mechanics, in that a lot of games ultimately boil down to, in a roundabout way, getting a number to increase by doing some things. And this one was a click to make cookies, and you get a cookie per click, but then very quickly you get sort of you can automate your cookie generation, and that becomes sort of very, very gratifying. So it's a clicker game, but really it's an idle game, as we call them, and you can like buy some stuff and so on. So I'm going to keep that open, not because I want to play cookie clicker, but because it's interesting to see. I want to see how the design has been made, because the very basic action is just like there's something that happens and you just make the number go up. So looking at how you offer the options to increase the number. That's essentially the game design is about what are you going to sell and at what price, and how is the price going to increase, which is going to involve maths, etc. So we're going to start something by in our main loop, simply print return. No, we'll make a fancier banner. Return tapper. I should kind of like. No, hold on. Let me just go. So we want to like print um, the banner, the number of cookies. I'm not going to make a command for that. It's self-explanatory. So for the number of cookies or the number of taps, I'm going to use an F string for format string. So it's like a regular string, but you put an F before that. And that means I can do you have tapped n times. Now, n, this is basically inside you can put a Python expression, which is essentially a little bit, a sliver of Python code, something that will evaluate. So that could be the name of a variable or even a mathematical operation performed on a variable, etc. But I need to have to define n. So I'm going to initialize n at 0. Sounds sensible. That's going to number of tabs. And if I then simply do input, we're going to wait for the user to press return, and then after the input, I do n plus equal 1. Okay, so that's the 7 lines core of the game. Boom. Okay, do not tune out away, because let's make this. This is not looking as exciting as it's going to end up. Let me just show you something. I keep forgetting about this. Clear the screen in Python. Yeah, but the CLS. So CLS, those are kind of like from the console. We would need to import the system. Legitimate. Yeah, of course. That's very legitimate that you need to send my data to 157 third parties. Sounds like legitimate interest. It's called a dark pattern, right? When you can make something possible but so difficult that because you don't want people to do it. Oh, look at that. There's more there. Ba-ba-da. At least once you've done it once. Very exciting part of the stream, I'm sure. Right, but call, no. Where's the stack? There's a Stack Overflow answer. Yes, maybe there's the duplicate, but system's clear. Clear. Yes. No, I've seen it. Isn't it like this backslash 033? Yeah, so there's an ANSI escape code. That's what it means. There's sort of like symbols in yeah, there it is. There it is. So ASCII characters have, of course, letters and numbers, but and punctuation signs and bits and bobs, but there are also a bunch of control characters that behave exactly like characters. They can be put into strings, they can be put into files. Some of them can be sent from the keyboard, but they don't display anything. They do things. In particular, in that instance, clearing the screen or escaping a program, etc. So if I, after each oops, did twice. So after each of the iterations of the loop, I I print this special character, backslash 0033, open open close square bracket, capital H, backslash 033, open square bracket, capital J. Then this will behave like this. Not on this one. Huh. That was working in my console. This is it's going to look less. Well, maybe I can just do this. If I don't change the size of my screen, if you use like another ID, if you do it in like Funny in VS Code, whatever, even an idle terminal should behave better than this. But this is like really web based. So in that instance, I've got like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 2 lines or 1 line here. No, it's only 1. Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, it's at the bottom, but still works. I'll still take it. Or remove 3. So if I make that 8, maybe I'll have it at the top. No. Okay. So not sure what's going on there. Anyway, so this is our tapper. Still running, right? Okay, so far so boring. Still, we're making a number go up by doing something. So, but although a return key will have a hopefully longer what they call like mean time before failure as a mouse button, that's not super helpful. So now we're going to do things like take a choice from the user. And so I'm going to run the N. I'm going to run the N tappers. So I'm going to offer the opportunity to buy a tapper. Blank line here. So if N is larger than the price of a tapper, then I'm going to print I'm going to take a simple A. No, I'm not A. I'm going to want something close to return so I can kind of spam. Hey, plus, I'm going to start with maybe A, right? Maybe after all. Auto tapper. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm put the price as well. So that's the N. That's the price of the auto tapper. So I'm going to set that to 10 to start with, right? F for auto tapper, bracket, the price. So at the moment, how am I going to display that? If I'm consistent, I don't even need to put like kind of text. I just kind of people will recognize the first thing is the first thing and the second thing. What I mean by that is like press A for auto tapper. This is how many you have, which I'm going to put after the price. The price I'm going to kind of put a unit count. So the price is P tapper. Thank you. Tabs. Is that too long? We'll see. Okay. Okay. A and okay, it's not recognizing the A yet because I just did this kind of mute input, or I don't know, it's the right term, but I think that when I actually put choice, I'm not doing anything with it. Okay, and if choice dot upper, put in uppercase just in case. No, let's not put in uppercase because we could reserve uppercase for like another action or like maybe buy 10 of them or whatever, right? If choice equal A, so we buy an auto tapper. Let's space the code. So that's the banner. That's the I'm going to have the control code. So this is where we're kind of gonna buy a whole bunch of stuff. And here I'm going to use a sub procedure. So if choice equal A, I'm going to go buy tapper. Just to keep the code a little bit clean. No. Define by underscore tapper takes no argument, and this is going to touch some variables, right? I'm going to need to have n tappers and p tappers be defined as globals. This will look familiar if you follow the Don't Collide tutorial, because the code I'm going to write inside this subprogram would only normally be able to change values of variables inside this subprogram. So if I want to change values of variables that are outside that subprogram and going to be used there, I need to declare them as global. I can read them, but to write to them, I need to declare them as global. And my buy tapper function, to buy a tapper, I will first, well, to start with, if n is smaller than the p, so it's p tapper in the singular, p tapper, it's not tab, it's return. P tapper, then return, because we don't have enough money, and then I don't even need an else, and here I'm going to say that should be here. Here I'm saying, right, the number of tappers plus equal increase by 1, the number of taps decreases by the price of a single tapper, and the price of the tapper, let's start at 1. I'm going to make it easier, and then we'll have to fine-tune the thing. You know what? Why not? P tap increase, and then that way I'm going to have some kind of easy handle at the very top. So those would be my configuration. Constants for configuration, the first one is the p-tap increase, which I'm going to set to say 10 to start with, and then I have my global. Then I'm going to have all of my sub-programs and main loop. Cool. Tidy this up. So, that's too small. Yeah, I think that should work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. Okay, and then I can tap A. Boom. And I now have... I don't have any... My auto tappers don't do anything, so that's quite disappointing. But now they cost 20 taps, and I've got one. So buy another one. Okay, I need to display the number of auto tappers. Just like I say, you have tapped 10 times. So this is going to be in the main program. Below this, I'm going to say if n tappers, meaning if the number of tappers is larger than 0, but that will evaluate. Nah, let's not flex with some super Pythonic professional stuff. Okay, if the number of tappers is larger than 0, then we're going to display you print n tappers. Why is this red? Because I've made this a regular string, not an f string. If I make an f string, boom, it's black because we know it now. It's in our code. You have n tappers. Now, how? Seeing as I'm like effectively as the player is the one that makes time pass because the code is most of the time spent most of the time hanging on line 31 because we're waiting for input from the user. And then this is when I have tap one time, tap two times. I'm gonna put it back to like 11, or it doesn't really matter, like the 20 or whatever, right? Yeah, I mean, still that's not changed yet. I can buy little tappers. I can see I have some tappers, but they're not tapping because to tap, I'm encountering the concept of TPS, the tap per second. This is when I'm going to need to keep track of time simply. So my start time, I'm going to call it T0. So, such a nice kind of like scientific notation, is the time when I started the game, because that's going to run once, right? This kind of initialization of global variable. There is a package called time, and in time I do time. Time. I don't have a console. Do I have a console? I can't get a console. That's the time. And then in my t previous is equal to t0 initially, right? This is the one I'm going to use in the main loop. Choice input by tapper. This is around here, right? Like I'm gonna keep things in the same place. This way I'm gonna like auto tap, which I might just say auto tap bracket. I'm gonna pass it and tappers, which means I'm gonna need to define an auto tap that takes a number of tappers n. I can probably do it in here. No, prev. I'm going to need to pass prev as well. Let's actually do something like this. If okay, t is the current time, so that's time.time. This will return something in like seconds since the 1st of January 1970. I don't have time to explain why that's the case. With a decimal, so that's actually milliseconds, or even probably even thinner than that, maybe. And so if the t is different from tprev, print is that the grand string? I don't know if you formulated this. Last last tap, last manual tap. No, last manual tap will be right now, but like previous manual tap, or like mm, let's just kind of like put the time. What I'm saying is the time now minus t prev, if I have it, and then what I'm going to do is I also set, once I've done this comparison, I'm going to set t prev to t. No, yes, which means I'll have it ready to see how that's happened. So that's how I kind of manage or time, or at least no time in the game. Line 25, line 25. Oh, there's but actually some often when if sometimes look above, right? If you can't find it on the line, they say it's probably something above that aspect. The path of time is not defined, so I need to import time. But it is in the Python standard library, so yeah. Oh, it's done a little. So that was like I waited. I'm speaking. There's going to be about like 3-4 seconds. 4 seconds, right? This is the time since in between the two taps. Now, then I've got this. I could multiply this by kind of auto tappers and tap per second and then calculate tap per second. It's going to be grand. I shouldn't have gone straight with the auto stuff. I didn't kind of like, I didn't actually write it before this program, right? So that's kind of what's fun about it because I'm kind of figuring it out and, but I had kind of outlined, and I didn't even kind of like outline it very much. So there's many ways to go about this. We'll get same place in the end. So this is the time since, um, how about that in the last, no, because this is going to be send you sub total. So I'm not going to, might not even use this actually. We'll leave this for debug, but like, I just don't find a nice, pithy, short way to displaying what this particular data is, but it doesn't really matter. What matter here is this thing. So after I've done sorry, I've got the auto tap and tappers. T is in here though, so I need to pass T as well, right? So I'm going to pass T and the number of tappers, which means they're going to need to accept T as the time. This will have access to tprev. I need to global tprev as well, so it survives in between. It's not, it's not a. I'm going to global tprev. I have to explain myself. Okay, so if you put the previous time as global, then auto tap, boom. We're only going to auto tap if we have tappers. No, we don't actually. That would be good, right? So if and tappers is larger than 0, then we call the kind of auto tap function. This is going to use the time and is going to say delta or dt is equal to t minus t previous, t prev. I need to global n. Oh, I can't have n, so that needs to be n tappers because n is the kind of n taps. And the auto tap is going to change n, the number of taps, because it's going to tap, so I need to make that the global. So that's the number of taps I'm going to change. This is the difference in time, and this is the number of tappers I have, so that's super fine. So what I do is n plus equal n multiply. Maybe I'll kind of like cast it to an int just to get rid of but there's going to be some decimal points. We'll see what kind of degree of, we may want to keep a really fine resolution behind the scenes, but only display strings that kind of like are rounded. But for the time being, n gets incremented by the number of tappers multiply by the difference in time. So each tapper is going to generate one tap a second run. Tprev is 30. Mm. Oh yeah, I don't need to. Sorry, I don't need to make that. I don't need to make a global. We know in a function. I'm fine. And disconnects as tprev because it won't write to it, but yeah, I'm fine. Sorry. This like still a couple of seconds because it didn't start at the. Yeah, then I don't need to have this to be fair. I don't need to have those tests if there's going to be a difference because what you don't want is a divide by zero. Let's find it. Okay, tap 0 times, tap 1 time, pop, 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 pop. Let's buy an auto tapper. Now I'm going to let it idle. I'm going to let it idle what I could, and I need to remember to press return after I've done this. So that's kind of okay. Maybe I should have made them cheaper. There's kind of like several ways to go about this. But let's give this another maybe like simpler choice. I'm gonna say I'm gonna have something called say I'm gonna put it like maybe here actually. Let's press tap power, and that starts at 1. And for manual tap, okay, manual T power, man T power. That's 1. Starts at 1. Also out T power, which also starts at 1. So here, that's the critical. I'm going to make that more obvious. This is where we get an actual tap. We get a tap. We record the tap. But instead of incrementing by 1, I'm going to increment by man T power, manual tap power. And here, n tappers times dt times whatever I call it, out T power. Excellent. I'm also going to want to, now that I've got this, right, I can have something like you have tap n times, and then I can say print like tap per second, and I'm going to say, so it's n, it needs to be an f string, n and divided by the current time minus t0. Yeah, that's the TPS bracket lifetime. And then I can print, because this is what we're going to want to see going up, TPS yeah, I'm going to need another variable for this. This is the one I want like since last update. But to know the total number of taps made since the last update, I need to store the previous one like I do for the time. So n prev equals 0, yeah? And here, right, so before we update, before we kind of increase n, increment n, we should probably maybe like in between n prev becomes equal to n, and that will keep the previous one, which means that I can now do, since the last update, it's n minus n prev. I need that in brackets of the round kind. I need and close my curly here, and that's going to be divided by And this time it's t minus t prev. Okay, let's refresh that. I've let it idle. Second since prev is 223 seconds. That doesn't tell me. I've tapped it 30 times, whereas my previous one was like, oh, 29 times. No, fair enough. It looks like my tappers aren't doing anything. Because I've had like 10 seconds. And, huh. Okay, so with my auto tapper, I think I've added some more code, but let's debug the auto tapper thing first. Especially since I've changed it again. Alright, fine, let's have a look at the new thing. Auto tapper, second since previous. 6 micro, whatever. I have tapped 0 times and have 0 TPS on the lifetime. And then division by 0. That's my problem here. Yes, okay, so that's kind of that's why I don't want that. If an unprive. I mean, surely, technically we know. Well, no, it has to be. Because when you, I fear that when we buy stuff, we will get negative TPS maybe. So because if we buy stuff, we spend, and so like since the last update, we may have like kind of facility made a loss in our tabs. So I'm only going to display this if it's not going to divide by 0. But the tapper, well, let's see. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, tap 1. Whoa, 41 now. That's helpful. Oh, it's TNT prep. Sorry, of course. Yeah, duh. So this, in that case, I know the time has this incredible annoying tendency to only creep forwards. So I think I'm going to be good with that. Okay. Boom. Oh no, my last update doesn't display at all. Oh, hold on. Yeah, no, I've got this problem here. Right, so I don't want to. Yeah, it's need to do the thing the same place. So might as well do that. Yeah. Stop. Run. Okay. Well, round floats. Format floats within F strings. That's why they're called F strings for format, right? So that I can do this. Look, I didn't realize there was going to be a quiz. Precision presentation type is this one. Ha! No. Format specifier .2f. Okay, and where do I put it? Duplicate. Yeah. Well, that's not an F string. That's like a format, though. Yes, colon, and then the format signifier. Cool. Okay, so every time we use something that's likely to be rounded, uh, colon 2f, will that work? Also put this same deal over here. No, forgive me, it's the whole expression. So I guess maybe I'll want some further bracket just so we kind of clear that this is what I want formatted as such. Or it's probably only for the format, so we know that. I think that was it. Oh, the second since previous, that's also helpful. That's a bit better. Nope. Oh. What? Okay, colon 2. Excellent. Look at that. It's all kind of like nice leafing. I've tapped 0 times and no TPS. I know what I want as well in terms of tuning the game. Uh, when I increase the price, oh, P-tap increase, I get it. Okay, so it makes that's the only config I have actually. Um, let's make that like 1, because just I want to debug them, and so I need to kind of be able to get some amount of auto tappers easily. Okay, hey. Okay, I've got 3 tappers. We're going to wait a couple of seconds, and I have 11 taps. And in 7 seconds since the previous update, my 3 tappers have not generated me anything because I only got 1 tap. So there's a problem there. N tappers are DT and N plus equal. And I declare that as global. There's no. I know what I'm going to do. Here, print. Okay. Yeah. Debug. Stop and run. 10 by 1. Wait a couple of seconds. Have a sip of water. Fill in the data. So how about the new Taylor Swift album, eh? I have complicated feelings about it. I was telling my year 12s about it on Friday. Anyway, okay, so tapper. 17 seconds, I got 1 tapper. Where's my debug? Ah, it's going to be smuggled there. 12. Right. 11, 12. What? That's the problem. Because T minus T prev, yeah. I've got the same problem. I need to do, because I've done this here, by the time we reach here, there's no difference between T and T prev because I've reset it over there. And in fact, I think for the N prev, we need to actually do this all. We need. No, I need the N prev basically before we change N, and the T prev stuff like at the very end. That makes sense. Okay, so I get it now. So because I was worried that like it failed to actually update it in the global scope, but what's happened is it somehow computed the difference of 0 because that would have been 12 because we called this after we did the 1 increment by manual tap power. In fact, this might be the variable. Okay, spoiler alert. Right, 10 of them, and then auto tapper, and yeah, the Taylor Swift album. Okay, I'm going to be very honest. This is the first time I really kind of checked out her music, and I do appreciate and enjoy pop music on occasion, but I am not kind of like immediately gelling with it. But I realize it's because I'm not kind of like a lyrics kind of guy immediately, more sort of harmony in particular, and I felt like a chord progressions were a bit just kind of like they all sound the same essentially is the first take on it. But then diving a little deeper and understanding the references and the nods and sort of like cross-cultural scholarship essentially. Look at this. So we have tapped 11. So in 35, we were at. Oh, that's already worked actually because we get like a 9. We've gone from 9 to 11 with 1 tap. I mean, I should do like the actual cookie clicker and like in my line of info about the auto tappers. I should really just like start commenting stuff. Okay, so this is just like main stats. And then I'm gonna have like the stuff by the guy that gets the tappers to start with. So once again, so since the previous since 54, and then I got 47. So it's like, and when I was at 11, so still feel like I'm not getting my one tap per auto tap per second. But now that I'm kind of like wealthy, I can start buying some. This is why we need to fine tune the. Oh, my TPS not working, is it? Nah, what's this? That can't be so low. Since last update? Since last 0.6 since last update? 58 point. Maybe there's some kind of quantization that happens, but I can't have like a. Okay, I need my time stats. Oh no, there's a cat. There's a cat. Hey. Okay, darling, come here. You're gonna be a YouTube superstar. Yeah? Or are you shy? You're usually quite shy. Come on. Come on. Do the cat thing. Step on my keyboard. No? Look at this naughty little girl. Okay. Cool. She'll be back. She will be back. Believe me. Don't worry. There's plenty of cat content, quality cat content for the family. How about let's put this. Hmm. I can't believe the clear screen doesn't work. Mine looks so much better if you could clear the screen. Anyway, an F string, please. And I'm going to go straight in and do the calculation. The calculation is t minus. I've gotten t right. Yeah, t is the very thing I do. T minus start. Start. T minus t0, of course. Yeah. Curly. Colon dot 2f. I might actually run the cookies to the nearest. Is that colon I? The cookies. See, I've kind of I've betrayed the ripoff I'm doing. Well, let's see, like just dot 0f. Intuitively, that should work, right? You'd think. And so lifetime, and this one is like since last bracket last. Not. And this one here. To be honest, I actually really badly structured this tutorial because I got into the auto tapper as the first thing after the basic tap, which is great because like we got to talk about time and kind of like time differences and but there's an immediate kind of like in new feature to add to the code that I should have started with. It's to offer higher tapping power, and in fact, no, yes, manual tapping power. Look at this. Yes, I've made those variables, haven't I? So I'm also going to need to have the let's call it like the MT pow. M pow. Let's just because we need tapping power, right? Whatever that was her, and then with this increase, and let's make that one as well, for instance, right? Manual tapping power is one, and then the price of pow of M pow increase. So the price is going to be 10. That's also a price increase actually. So make it sounds like it's the increase of what it costs to increase the power. It's just like a power increase, the manual power increase, but the price increase of the manual power increase. So that really should be the price of the manual power increase. But let's put the line there because that's manual stuff, and that's about the automatic. And this is time stuff, right? Okay, so time auto tapper vars time vars and so globals, and the first of my globals are tapping bars. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is once I have the money, so that I've got once I have the price, this is the price, this is the power, uh, and yeah, so I've got all the variables I need. I'm going to make that into a subprogram, right? So I'm going to call it increase power. Doesn't take anything because it's doesn't take anything, but it's going to have because I need a load of globals. It's going to need n so that we can reduce the price. It's going and the Manti power. So if n is smaller than the price of the managing power increase, just, I don't, yeah, those variable names, I gotta say, I'm not sure. Even myself, I'm not, you know, as long as we kind of know what they mean now. So if we don't have enough money or currency or taps, we just eject. Otherwise, we are going to use the manual tapping power is going to get increased by the MP power increase. The N are going to get decreased by the price of the price of the manual power increase, and the price of the manual power increase, which is the Manti power. Yeah, I also need the price of the manual power increase because I'm going to change this as well. And this, no, sorry, this is the price. This is the price, so that just gets increased by 1, and the price of the price of the manual power increase. Because that's the problem, right? Because like if our game is to just get one number to go up, and then there's several ways, because if you get like other numbers to go up, then those numbers will manage to the presence and largeness of those numbers will make that number go even further up. Then referring to like what's the number that I'm talking about in my variable gets quite tricky. Because then each of those numbers have a price, etc. So that's the M of the power. Yeah, that's the problem. So that they kind of named the same way. So this is the thing, that the variable and the constant. The variable is what do we increase the power. So that should be price increase, or like power price increase. Maybe I'll just kind of like say, you know, price increases, just to make clear that that this is about. Yeah, but yeah, that's what's bothering me about the variable nomenclature. So that goes up by the other one, by this, yeah, by the constant, and so this will increase the power. Now, same deal. If n is larger than the price of the manual power increase, we're gonna f string, and then it's going to be m for manual, or p for power. P is close. That's good. P for bracket p m sorry, curly, and it's p underscore m underscore powering. Taps is the cost, and currently this is going to be Manti power. That was the one. Close the curly, and I think that's kind of good. So if that's the thing, we can print this, and same deal. Another conditional where if that's the P to buy power, I'm gonna, is it buy power, increase power. Uh, 37, 39. Okay, cool. So now I'm kind of like, I'm missing a closing bracket in the string. This is just like irking me. But I've got 0 to tap as well, so none of that is kind of, I can't really let it idle. Ah, the lifetime. That's the thing. The lifetime, because now I'm kind of like, yeah, because I spend them. Okay. So I think in the CPS, the cookie, in the actual cookie clicker, right? If I spend them, well, look at this. Pay attention to this number. Does it decrease when I buy stuff? A little bit. At least buy more expensive stuff. I know it's increasing because I'm buying the producing thing. So what Cookie Clicker does is that it's like those are the cookies generated, not your total cookies. So cookies that get spent to make grandmas and farms and mines and whatever they get further down the line do not get subtracted, whereas ours do, which is our lifetime TPS is literally just going to be how many you have versus how long it's been running. There's a potential way to fix that and make that a to-do. Where do I see the time? Oh yeah, at the corner, 14:50. Okay. Where are we going? So no one, no. Usually I get people popping in to say hello, but that's what I like, managed to get. Oh no, there's someone, Carlos, say hello. But like, how long ago was this? Who knows? I don't know. Hi, hello, Carlos. So even with the screen in front of me, I'm just not being very good at this. Okay, so that's my tapper. And I'm going to start to buy some motos. Okay, then we've got like, to be fair, what Quick Clicker does, it does sort of various types of auto clicker, right? The difference being that this one, I should like reset it. I don't know what the starting points for this would be helpful. Idle Game Maker. Oh, no way. Of course I'll take. Oh, what a legend. Oh my god. Oh, this is so like the next year 7 lessons. No, no, what have I done? Progress Quest, the first. Oh my god, 2002, yeah. I mean, it was just an RPG with text editor, but whatever, a parody of EverQuest. Yes, because that's the point. It's like the Penny Arcade on Grid. Is it Grid? No. Pure? No. Uh, Racing game. Bars? It might have been Grid. No, I guess it's very difficult. They claim to have a search engine, but it seems to be tricky to get like the right Penny Arcade articles. They're just discussing in this web comic, and one of them saying enjoying this game. It's like, what do you know? And it's like, well, I don't know, but like so far I'm filling in a lot of bars. And it's like, well, is the game any good? Well, it's a great way to fill bar. Look at the last bar I filled, which is most bar filled. Yes, it's all about getting the numbers up. And so that's why I want to. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Feeling a bit ADHD. I'm looking to reset my, just reset it. I guess if I actually clear my cookies, ironically, like my, yeah, I guess if I clear the cookies for ortitle-net for Cookie Clicker, because that's where it's going to be stored, right? So I'm going to close it for a bit and clear the cookies, and I want, no, not those. No cookies, maybe. It's kind of like this, the blanket browsing data is kind of pretty good to do at regular interval, just to, but is that, yes, okay, fine. No, how about, where do I find the, 14 result size settings. In fact, yeah, okay, so we're back to kind of this, but can I just like selectively? Okay. Dashnet.org, 9 cookies. There you go. There you are. So if I just scrap this one and go back to Ortai, cookie clicker. So now it's loading from scratch. It's going to ask me again about the cookies, and I'm going to have it in English. That's fine. So the cursor to get the first auto clicker is at 15. So I need to kind of like get 15 manual cookies. And now I can buy a cursor. So it's 15, 100, 1000. So it's like, it's kind of orders of magnitude, right? Like this 10 times tenfold. And an initial cursor is 0.1 CPS. Very good. Was a grandma, I'm going to need more cursors. Okay, just because the numbers change. Cursor start at 15 and 0.1, and the grandma is like 100. Just to kind of get because balancing the game is, well, the thing is, you know, you want the progression to be just right, because yeah, that's what I thought. I need a full 100. The 5 cursors are not doing anything. Come on. Yeah, I can't see the stats of the grandma until I've actually bought one. So I'm essentially playing Cookie Clicker live on. I'm sort of a Twitch streamer. Hey, hello, do you want to buy some of my merchandise? I don't know how these things work, evidently. I'm not going to get 100 if I keep spending it on clickers, but that's the thing with the game. It's 46 now. Yeah, I'll come back to this in a second. So I've got two options here. Let's buy some more auto tappers. Well, look at that. I'm already in the several thousands of thing, right? Because my TPS definitely since the last update, or I need to remove the cost from the TPS, which means that I need to, I guess, keep I guess separate variables for like taps generated manually, taps generated by auto. Well, so far I've got one type of auto clicker, and then those are going to help me do stats for their TPS respectively. So I could have like in Cookie Clicker, I could have like, I've got 100 first grammar. So like in Cookie Clicker, I could have something about like the CPS for each kind of generator, including the manual one, and I would get the basic CPS from like summing them all. It's because that gives me like cookies generated over time rather than kind of like cookies currently in the cookie bank taps. So forgive me. This is a different, completely different game. Look at that the interface, the graphics. In that mine has none of that. So this one CPS, and are they getting better? Oh no, because it's eight. I've got 8 cursors. So a grandma is 1. So that's interesting. Well, they're all okay. So basically, we powers of 10. We orders of magnitude. But I wonder if instead of like doing just another thing, just a more expensive cursor, because then you can also beef the index figure. Oh, but that includes the mouse as well, and then grandma twice as efficient. So this is really about doubling. Whereas here you add. But a way of doubling would be to have an auto buyer for the auto tapper, and then we could set that as 100. Which one I'm going to do first? So let's just like, okay, because I might come back to this. You know what? Let's come back same time tomorrow, 2 p.m. tomorrow, maybe in the morning. I don't know. I'll watch YouTube. I'm sure you are avid followers. But to do track CPS of sorry. Oh wow, TPS of each tapping method. That's going to be nice, and display stats, etc. Like power, maybe like power. I want to make an auto tapper buyer, so I'm going to price it at 100, it's also going to need its own set of stuff. This is like, those are my immediate kind of changes here. Still haven't fixed the current, or is it not, doesn't have enough power increase, tabs, power, close, oh, it's just, is it this? Oh. Oh, we're still running all along, maybe. Okay, boom. But the power increase is a much better, I mean, kind of for the early game, but then you kind of want to like get automated. Now, what if we did something for this, where like if I tap A, it would buy, yes. I want something like backs my buy max, buy max. Alternatively, or on top, we can have something like the letter and then like a number. That would be quite cool, right? So we make the conditional just on the first letter, and if there's like some numbers after, instead of doing it once, I would do or P that way. So for P, like I could do P 100 and so on. So yeah, oh sorry, it's press enter here. Okay, that's an hour. We in an hour we got it with some kind of like nice looking stats. Oh no, I've broken it. What? Hello? So, oh, they've logged me out. Beautiful. Whew. Okay, so that's not, we've not lost anything. But in an hour, in a shape of an hour, we get something. You tap. It's going to give you some tap per second stats. You can increase your various power of taps. You can buy auto tappers. Auto tappers are going to start doing the bulk of the work for you, and then you can let it idle. So you don't see the number like increasing live. But we could. There is a version where we could potentially do that. But it would. I mean, you know, if P5 if I can just get the library that I want, and the problem with like the displaying text because the fonts are not the same depending on whatever, it's just crazy. Auto tapper, auto tapper, auto tapper. Okay, so I've got how many I've got? 40 times. I need to maybe make that like much more prominent. Well, the problem is that the power increase. I need to also know what my current power is actually. I think that would be. Yeah, because the problem, because I increased the price, right? This is where I've been. This should have been like at least five. You know, I've made the game like kind of too easy. Well, too easy. You want it to be rewarding to the player. Um, don't know. We could do. It's like some having then you can detect passing certain kind of milestones like first thousand or whatever. We could have achievements, but in a text base, I appreciate it's not going to be like super cool. But my next steps I think are defined, and I'm committing to kind of doing the same thing again an hour stream tomorrow. We're going to do some like little TPS stats, and I'm really curious about the auto tapper auto buyer. And then we could have an auto tapper, auto buyer that buys the buyers, that buys the tappers, and then we just have to kind of get the first one, and there's a pyramid scheme. But this will kind of be, I suppose, limited by. I don't know about this. I don't know. Because like the time it gets you to get enough to buy an auto tapper, which at the moment is 31 taps, which, I mean, what's my TPS? Oh, the execution stop. Okay, whatever. But yeah, fun game. Thank you for watching.